Hi, my name is Nathan, and today we're going to do a full comic book review of Eat the Rich, issue number 1 through 5, brought to you by RatedComics. In this comic book series, we're going to discover what Joey does when she discovers her boyfriend's parents are cannibals and they eat people. Timestamps will be in description if you wish to go from issue to issue, and also link in description if you wish to purchase any of these comic books to add to your comic book collection. Support the art, support the industry. With that being said, let's get to it. Interesting title, very compelling title. We begin this issue with Joey's nervousness on this road trip to meet her boyfriend's affluent parents, Astor. The dialogue here sets up her meeting with his parents and childhood friends in Crestfall Bluffs. And Joey is coming off as endearing and extremely relatable with her apprehensiveness, if you will. As Astor is telling Joey about his best friend Bumper, who he used to hang out with every summer, something overtakes him and he has to abruptly pull over. His girlfriend Joey is already nervous to begin with, and now she has to add this to all her emotions. Concerned, Joey asks what's wrong, and Astor tells her that he hasn't seen Bumper since he quit drinking. I haven't seen any of my friends since I quit drinking. He hasn't been to Crestfall Bluff function sober since he was 12. That's heavy, bro, and what a confession that he, spills on to Joey. He doubts himself because how is he supposed to go through with this vacation without drinking, meeting all of his old school buddies? I hear you, bro, because me, for myself, I'm not a one drink kind of person myself. Joey comforts her man and reassures him that he can do this, and if he can go through finals without drinking, this will just be cake. Recognizing that her boyfriend's a stress case at this point, Joey knows she has to keep it together. You go, girl. Foreshadowing anyone? A car pulls up to this beautiful and eerily desolate mansion on the beach. It's not easy to make any beach house eerie. At the same time, maybe it is. Just saying, it's Astor's parents and they introduce themselves to Joey. Nervousness must be kicking in on autopilot for Joey, and it's dripping out of her pores. The vibe isn't right, and we know how intuitive women are. Joey tells one of the servants that they don't have to grab her backpack, but the servant's eyes go wide, and this woman gets all creepy and tells Joey, "No, you just leave this. Don't interfere." I think I would call that creepy Karen servant. As anything horror, once you build the tension, you got to calm it down with the house tour and try to sneak in a little bit of creepy in plain sight. To me, this comic book comes off as the Cruel Intention movie in the 90s and Jordan Peele's movie Get Out mixed together. I love how the light shows in the illustration along with the dark. It's unsettling shadows in the home as a way to highlight that something is off and eerie about this place without explicitly saying so. What also makes Joey endearing to me is she clearly says that she is nervous at the same time, trying to blend in with the Astor's wealthy 1% parents, and her mannerisms is something I totally can relate to. In that kitchen, I hope those chefs can save her brother a ribeye or two for later. Yum! In another moment where normally we don't give it too much thought, but now we have to, Astor dad offers Joey champagne or scotch. Astor tells his dad that Joey isn't that kind of girl. Even Joey questions what does that mean. And me as a reader, I do too. Joey takes a walk to the beach and believes that she was being tested and almost failed. This book does a really great job of character building, environment building, tension building, all while telling the story and throwing you off balance at the same time. I love how something as simple as a hair clip can bring a girl to have her nervous breakdown. Kudos for making something regular as meeting the parents interesting and giving it a fresh perspective. Such a great mix of art and entertainment. Joey is convinced at this point that her boyfriend's parents think she is crazy, and officially cray. The girl she met at the beach is Petal, the family nanny. Now that that's out the way, Petal is about to ask if the family told her about whatever it is, and she is interrupted by the baby choking while trying to eat sand. Way to tease us with tension and take it away like taking sand from a baby, if that's how the saying goes. I'm just kidding. I love how even a simple gesture is offering to help the nanny out with the baby can come off as offensive and intrusive, if you may. It's clear by the nanny's demeanor she is not feeling it. Joey may be on the beach, but the vibe she's getting is straight up graveyard. Petal gives Joey a piece of advice with a little dash of foreshadowing. God, they're going to eat you alive. You don't offer to help the help, Joey. You don't have anything to do. By you not allowing us to do our job, you're taking away our livelihood, so to speak. Don't mess with my money, girl. This puts Joey in tears. Never is doing the right thing made easy. It's so conflicting at the same time. Wow. This book definitely mixes brilliant character writing commentary, and it takes up almost cliche premise and makes it authentically frightening. And interesting, I may add. Later on, as Joey and Astor are getting ready for the party, Astor asks Joey how the beach was. Naturally, Joey tells her boyfriend about her meeting with Petal, the nanny at the beach. Astor scolds Joey about not talking to the help, and it's the only way you're going to survive this summer. Once again, eerie and foreshadowing. With a whole lot of intrigue, Astor snaps back and calms down, if you will. This is a smart and cunning read, I'm just saying. The party begins, and these two lovebirds make their entrance. Joey notices that everyone is dressed very similarly, if not the same. She's the only different one in this party. Naturally, she questions if there is a dress code that she overlooked. We get to meet Bump, and of course, he has to greet his boy with some adult beverages for old time's sake. Turns out Bumper is not just a lobbyist for TurboTax, he's also a DJ as well, and that's pretty cool. But it doesn't help for a brother who plans on staying dry if you get the meaning. I guess tradition at these parties is people get roasted at these parties, but it seems to be in an eerie and uncomfortable way. It's not the rich that get roasted by the rich. The rich roast the retired help. But to those high net worth individuals, it's just a normal thing for them. Joey is so out of place, and I'm not complaining about it. This issue may sit next to impossible to put down. I'll leave it up to you guys to read the roast, if you will. It's pretty savage and off-putting. Once again, not going to complain because this book is a perfect 10 out of 10 in my opinion. Let's go on. What's interesting is every time Bumper makes a joke about a man in the crowd, they leave. Wow, the high net worth people just laugh about it. But in a strange twist of events, after Bumper is done with his roasting, he greets his buddy Astor and looks to get him an iced tea. He leans over to Joey and tells her, "You should get out of here." It's almost as if he didn't enjoy doing the roasting himself while on stage. WTF is going on here? This book starts off with Joey and her boyfriend worrying about meeting his parents. But then as she meets the parents, they create an eerie and suspicious vibe. However, the boyfriend, Astor, pushes the impression aside as normal. Clearly, the eerie just keeps building up in here, especially when the crowd of rich people suspiciously compliment her dress and for marching to her own beat as the background goes dark, once again hinting that something is just not right. As always, I got to leave a little meat on the bone for you guys if you decide to get a copy of this issue. Link in description, by the way. This issue is a horror series, and we know something more will happen. However, what is really happening is left unknown until the last final few pages of this book. The final few pages of this book and the review is well worth the price of this issue. And the disturbing cliffhanger just begs for the next issue. I'll give you a hint. It has something to do with one of the people that got roasted at the party by Bumper. Gosh, I feel terrible for Joey for having to witness what she witnessed in the way that she is paralyzed in fear. She knows she has to run, and the tears down her eyes show the desperation of her wanting to run, but can't because she is so paralyzed in her own fear. This is creating a compelling story that will leave you on the edge of your seat or wherever you're reading this comic at, and you will beg for more. We begin this issue with Joey not being able to go to sleep from the trauma event she witnessed last night. This is really bad. She recalls to herself she can't believe they did that. She can't believe she saw them do that. And what she saw was her boyfriend's dad at this party cannibalizing this retired help, and it just traumatized her. And she doesn't know what to do, but all she knows what she has to do is get the heck up out of here. The problem is her boyfriend Astor is dealing with some anxiety issues because he quit drinking, and his family friends expect him to drink at the party, so he has anxiety how to cope with that because he doesn't want them gossiping about this. So he took the pen, which knocked him out cold. So Joey tries to wake him up, and he's just groggy. "What's wrong, babe? Something happened at the party. It's your dad. What about my dad?" And she doesn't know how to say it. Like, how do you tell a brother that your parents are a cannibalist? Well, he's half asleep. And she's sensitive to that issue, but he's just not in the right frame of mind to receive it. So he's just like, let's go back to bed. I'll be able to understand tomorrow. It's okay. I love you, babe. He goes back to bed, and she's being a supportive girlfriend. I love you too. And she knows the Clonopin has him too buttered up and too knocked out to listen, but I gotta make him understand, and then we gotta get out of here, but I need proof so he'll believe me. So late at night, she goes downstairs to the kitchen, knives. She sees some stained wine in the trash. It's all plausible, but there has to be something more compounding, more of a, I got them in there by the gonads, you know? Because what she's seeing right now, it's not enough. So she goes to their taxes to see if they took a murder, a cannibal deduction last year. Okay, is that a tax write-off? Because if so, then Benihana, I'm writing that off, all right? That's something else. So the door opens. Someone's about to go in. She's like, oh crap. She hides under the desk. The light goes on. Joey sees that it's Petal from issue number 1. Petal says the word Jeepers because she doesn't want to swear in front of the kid. And naturally, she's like, well, what are you doing here? Are you snooping around? Are you stealing? She's like, well, no, I'm not stealing. I'm just snooping. And then Petal's like, what are you looking at? But her demeanor's like, I know you saw something. And she tells her, I thought you might need someone to talk to about what you saw the other night. So talk to me, Goose. And then she was like, well, they're cannibals. They're going to eat you. They're going to kill you. And Joey's like, they're going to throw you a party where they ridicule you, then eat you and consume your flesh. Petal, unfazed by it, she's like, I know. It's in the contract. And it's in the NDA, so we can't talk about it for obvious reasons. And then Joey's like, I don't understand. Like, why would you sign up for this? Petal's like, look, man, it's good work for good money. I have dental. I have my wisdom tooth pulled out. I have all these, you know, healthcare benefits, and I'm not in the best shape of my life. So it's kind of like, well, you get healthcare for the small price of your arm and a leg later on. And then she talks about like these out-of-pocket drugs and costs. It's just more than what I can afford, and it's worth it to me. Joey's like crying in tears, like being sympathetic and just, you know, going through like, please, they'll kill you. I can't let them kill you. And Petal's like, look, I don't know you. I don't trust you, but look, you seem like an all right person. I was gonna die anyway. And Petal tells her, I wasn't in a great place before this job. I couldn't afford healthcare at all, but they have these bougie private doctors. There's no way I can afford all that. And it's worth it to me because it's worth not having to be hurt all the time. It's worth not being stuck. And then Joey's like, well, what about the old man at the party? Well, Toby, that's the guy who retired, the Rockweathers, paid for his grandson's chemo. They wouldn't have done it if he didn't agree tonight. So in other words, these people agree to do this because they're sick, or they have crushing debts, or they have kids they want to send off to college. And the brother that got ate up at the party last night that Joey horrifically witnessed, if he hadn't signed the contract with the retirement clause in it, they wouldn't have done it at all, and his son or his grandson's chemo would have never been paid for. This is how the world works, Joey. Sorry you had to find out in a crappy way. So Joey's like, oh man, I mean, Jesus. So she's like questioning stuff. It's her own fault for wandering off, but she saw what she saw. There's no way about it. It's not my business. So now she's trying to justify it in her head as she walks up the stairs to go back to bed with her boyfriend Astor. Meanwhile, we see Astor's mama looking up at Joey like, this has got to stop. The rest of this issue deals with Joey and Astor's dialogue and his dilemma and why and this and that. So she couldn't tell him because now she's trying to find reasons to stay, but also deep down she knows she needs to go. So it's like, is Joey willing to pay with her life to uncover the gruesome secrets behind this stuff, behind why they do what they do? And as she digs further, she produces more questions and she might get some dangerous answers. So I got to leave a little meat on the bone with this issue here in case you guys did decide to buy the book. Link in description, by the way. But it does end with the ultimate cliffhanger. In my opinion, Eat the Rich issue number 2 is not as exciting of an issue as its predecessor, but it makes up for with searing and saddening relevant satire. And in my opinion, this is going to shape up to be a damn good comic. And if this comic or this issue continues the way it's going to go, I will be reviewing issue number 3, 4, and 5, the complete series. And I do foresee this as being a very satirical Netflix, Amazon Prime show. I said it, but don't wager me on it because I'm not trying to wager, but I said it. So with that being said, this issue is definitely worth the purchase and you will not be disappointed. Just mind you, lower your expectations a notch or two compared to the first, but you won't be disappointed, by the way. It's like going from ribeye to New York strip. I mean, I like New York strip, but I prefer ribeye. But anyways, that's just my opinion. In this issue, we begin with Astor's mom, who's Joey's boyfriend, confronting her about, we need to talk about what she saw. Joey's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And the mom's like, we don't need to pretend with each other anymore. Come with me. I love how you see the hand display from the residue of the help being eaten by the rich. And this is a callback to issue number 2. And I'm going to leave a playlist at the end of the video if you guys want to go back to that playlist to reference issue number 1 and issue number 2, because I will be covering all the issues here. Astor's mom tells Joey, I know you're tired and you must be exhausted from running around the house last night. And Joey's like, I'm fine. What do you mean wandering? And we see a flashback of Joey wandering around the house in issue number 2, and Astor's mom just looking at her from behind like, please Joey, just ask me anything. What's the worst I can do? Just lie to you? And then Joey's like, I just don't know how to articulate it. And she's like, and the mom is like, let me share something with you. And Joey's like, okay, only if you think it's my business. She's like, it is my business because I can tell my son is smitten with you. If you're gonna be a part of this family, you deserve to know what you're getting into. So she tells a story how it wasn't long ago when she met Astor's dad, Pip, and she only had $25 in the bank account. And she could resonate with Joy because she understands where she was coming from. She was on the outside once upon a time. And then once her and her husband share a kiss, then they also share her first kill, I guess you can say. And it was just unexpected. I was frightened, and it's easy and it's normal to be frightened with things you don't understand. So Joey, I just want to help you understand so this won't feel all so scary. And then Joey's like, okay, well, what's the deal with the contracts? And she's like, whoa, you are bright. The contracts were my idea. I don't mean to brag, but they were my idea. Before that, things were done so savagely, so differently. People didn't deserve to die violent and unexpected deaths. They deserve more than that. And we show like her husband just randomly come to help and retire the help, so to speak, you know? So the mom tells Joey that after all, they view their staff like family. They deserve to be taken care of. They deserve a sense of security, don't you agree? And in a callback to issue number 2, we see that these people have the help, they have mounting medical bills, or they have cancer, but they want to make sure their grandchildren or children, their college tuition is paid for. And as long as they give up an arm and a leg, literally, on retirement, they will do that for them. From recruitment, everyone knows what they're getting into, to retirement, we give them benefits, high paying jobs, and they know what they're signing up for, not like the old days. And the mom tells her, it feels so good knowing that we made a difference, knowing that we could change things for the better. And then Joey's like, I just don't know how to put this, but why do you have to eat them? Do you really have to eat them? And then the mom's like, well, this is why I want to be the one to talk to you. Other people here, they're not like you and I. We're the new kids here. I know that you're not used to this kind of stuff, and neither was I, but you know what? It's traditions, and these people value that tradition. At this level of society, it may seem strange to you, but those traditions exist for a reason. And they're important traditions, and traditions are what make a family and a community last. And she tells Joel, you seem like a lovely girl, and my son loves you and is happy with you. I'd love for you to become part of our family, and I truly hope that you can value tradition and become important to it too. Astor's mom just leaves. It's like, I'm sure everyone's missing. Why don't you get back to the party? So Joey's not sure how to take this thing right here, right? So she sees Astor with his friend Bump, and Astor is smoking a cigarette. And Joey's like, Astor, you really smoking? And he's like, nah. Flicks the cigarette away. But Astor is smoking the cigarette because he has anxiety issues, and he's using it to cope with his anxiety. And then Astor asks Joey, are you ready for lunch? Come on, let's go get some lunch. And I love how it goes black and it highlights. Are you ready for lunch? Are you serious? Like, because she's thinking, okay, it's time to eat what? Now she reflects on what his mom tells him. It's one of their traditions, and it's part of the whole family community. If I want to be a part of this world, and I want to be one of them, I can't say no. And if I want Astor's friends to like me, even if I really don't understand them, if I want them to love me, I have to do this, and I can never go back. And everyone's just eating this bloody, I would like to think it's ribeye, but given the context of his book, you have to assume it's not a delicious looking ribeye that they're eating there. And she realizes once she does this, she can never go back. Or she says it tasted okay. Her eyes go wide like, this is surprisingly yummy. Now we get into this 5 weeks later. She's buttoning up Astor, telling Astor's like, look, why you get me all like this? You're making me look like I'm running for Congress or something. And she's clearly establishing a friendship and a relationship with not only Astor's friend Bump, but with everyone in the community. And even Petal, call back to issue number 1 and 2, playlist below, where she tells her side of the story, why she signed the contract and why she's agreed to be eaten upon her retirement. And it's like, it's cool, but you still got that thing in the back of your hair where it's still fresh, but clearly Joey is, blending in and making it work here. Now, as Astor lights up a cigarette, getting ready for another party. This is a deja vu moment, call back to issue number 1. Joey's like, okay, well, I'm kind of getting along with people here. I need you to tell me something. It's not going to be easy. Joey asks Astor, is there anything I should know about? Astor's like, well, like what? And she didn't say, but she's thinking about it. Is anyone going to die tonight? Call back to issue number 1. Bump comes in. He's not happy about things. He asks Astor for a smoke, and he's mad and disappointed about hosting another event. And this is a callback to issue number 1. You have to roast the retired help at the retirement party. You give him a roast, everyone laughs. I don't know if this humiliation of the help before he gets devoured by the rich is like a way of seasoning the meat, so to speak. And Joey's like, this is all deja vu again. Oh God, no, break a leg. That's exactly what you said in issue number 1. Before you guys literally start breaking some limbs, and she's going through all this moments in her feelings, like it's happening again. Joey tells Astor, can we get out of here please, just for a minute? And he's like, okay, well, let's go out for a walk. You know, I just need a minute, need some air. Astor's like, look, I'm actually glad we're getting a minute alone. Astor tells Joey there's something I've been wanting to ask, and he pops out a ring box, what we can assume is a very fancy carat ring, and gets ready to propose to her. But Pip, Astor's dad, tells him, look, I've been looking all over for you, and you're needed now. And he's bloody, and you can only imagine why he's bloody and what he needs to do. And Astor puts the ring back in his pocket. I'll catch you at the party later. And she's like, what were you gonna ask me? I'll just have to keep it and tell you later. So Astor's mom comes up behind her and tells her it gets easier. And I can just imagine how eerie and creepy that is. Now, I gotta leave a little meat on the bone, but I gotta say this is an awesome read, and it's very interesting, and it keeps your attention. I love how Joey thinks about her relationship with Astor and the life she wants before making an unexpected decision. Now, I don't know if when he pops that question, if she's gonna say yes. I'm sure that's gonna be revealed in later issues. But I'm sure that is a decision that will put her squarely into Astor's world and everything that comes with it, including a change that she probably didn't expect, if it hasn't happened already, because you can tell she's adjusting to it, but she still has her reservations, right? I think Eat the Rich issue number 3 is interesting and compelling story in this issue. The dialogue is great, and I enjoy the fact that all the cards are being put on the table. It allows the story to be about how deep down the rabbit hole Joey is willing to go and who she will become at the other side, and the moral choices that this character has to make. Now we begin this issue with Joey, her boyfriend Astor, soon-to-be fiance Astor, and Astor's parents eating lunch, and it's very questionable what she's eating there. It doesn't look like she's truly enjoying it. It might be organs from one of the help who was retired. When they retire, they eat their organs. We don't know. But what the argument is about is Astor's parents is that they're arguing that they just don't understand how one of the help can decide to retire early from her contract. And Astor dad's like, I know I told her she can't retire early, but she wants to retire early because of some specialty hospital or something for her son's kidneys or some condition, I don't know. And the mom's like, well, she's gonna insist on retiring. Somebody needs to deal with it, because I am way too busy and I can't believe she's doing this to us. I mean, some housekeeper is just ruffling our feathers, and it will not be stand by. Okay, I totally get it, but you can see Joey is trying to conform because she truly loves Astor, but at the same time, Astor seems kind of conflicted with this stress. And if you remember in issue number 1, he has anxiety problems, and now he's starting to smoke. And Astor's like, wait, the housekeeper Noreen is quitting? Yes, we cannot let this housekeeper derail things. So in other words, the mom is pushing off on the dad to handle it, figure it out. Now, Astor's mom asks Joey, how come he hasn't been paying attention to what I've been saying? And Joey tells her, I'll catch him up to speed, don't worry. And she thanks her for that, like, what will we do without you? So when Joey and Astor go back to get ready for tonight's festivities or next retirement party, whoever else is going to be retiring, Joey asks Astor, did you get enough to eat? You didn't look like you did. I'm fine. Well, it's whatever. God, I'm so sorry about my mother. What do you mean? Never mind. Just, we got to get ready for tonight's party, you know? As they get ready for tonight's party, he's shaving, and Joey's taking a soothing hot bubble bath. As she asks him, are you nervous about tonight? No, why would I be? And Joey's like, well, you're talking about in your sleep, something about a speech. but you also mentioned clown, so I don't know what it was. Maybe it was nothing. And this caused Astor to cut himself shaving. He goes out, he's like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna go out and get a smoke. You want anything? She says, no, I don't want nothing. Now, Joey narrates to herself, talks to herself like, it's not like he wants to answer my questions if I asked anyway. And if he did, would I even want to know the answer? So she's going through this self-inflicting conflict right now. Do I want to know where he went during the Independence Day party? This is a callback to issue number 3, when it looks like Astor was about to propose to Joey, and then Astor's dad called him to do something which is unquestionable and sus. And she's like, he's not eating? Do I want to know how many packs of smokes he does a day? Why can't he sleep without those pills that he used to use just for emergencies? It's not like I don't have secrets of my own. I haven't told her why I keep drifting off to hang out with Petal from the previous issues. And she keeps turning down sex because how can she get up in the movie, get jiggy with it when her boyfriend's parents are cannibalists and when they eat the help like it's Hannibal Lecter? She wonders if she asked him, what would he say? Would he lie? Would he tell the truth? Which is worse? We don't know. So she goes to the beach to have a peaceful getaway from all this. Petal comes up behind her and scares her. And you can tell this relationship is starting to feel a little bit more beyond empathy at this point. So Petal asks her, what are you doing here? Joey's like, I need a break. You need a break from what? I don't know, I can't talk about it. And Petal comes in, what if I want it to be my problem? Come on, I know you say you don't want to make it my problem, but I want to be my problem. Come on, Joey Dorsey, give me your troubles. And she puts her hand on top of her hand, slowly indicating a romantic moment. And Joey just lets it all out. Everything that's happened all summer, that's the problem. And Petal's like, dang, girl, did you eat today? And why you gotta put it out like that? Well, I know it's all messed up the way I said it, but why did you sign the contract? Sorry, it's none of my business. And Petal clearly states, I signed the contract and you know why, for healthcare. I couldn't afford to take the jobs, take healthcare on my own, so this contract is a way to get decent medical insurance. And yes, I'm only living for a certain amount of time, but my quality of life, knowing that I only have a certain amount of time to live, is so great compared to knowing that I have a longer life, but gonna be in pain for doing it. So it's kind of like it's capitalism and coercion, but still, I rather enjoy my shortened quality of life pain-free than the longer term of life with all this pain. You get it? Yeah, and Joey has nothing to do but to respect that, but she hates feeling this way. She feels like she could do something better. Does it have to be this way? It just feels like the game is rigged. And then Petal's like, you know what? You're the only person who I met who seems really freaked out by all this. Oh, thanks. And I'm sorry that Astor didn't tell you about all this beforehand and you just kind of got thrown into wolves with all this thing. But I get it. It's like maybe there isn't a way out of this, but at least someone else sees that it's a mess. And then Petal's like, great, I let my emotions out. And then Joey's like, can I ask you something? Anything. Well, how much time do you have left on your contract? Okay, ask me anything but that. Just don't ask me that. And then the next question Joey asks her is, why did you come all this way down here in the water in the first place? Aren't you supposed to get ready for the party too? And Petal's like, silly girl, isn't it obvious I came here looking for you? They have a college girls gone wild moment right here. Petal's like, I've been wanting to do this all summer. You have? For a college girl, Joey, you're not that smart, you know that? But she finds it adorably cute with her naiveness. I gotta get back. See you at the party. And then Joey has a moment like revelation, like she kissed me so good. Why does she smell so good? She's so far out of my league. And why hasn't my man asked to kiss me like that? You know what? It's not fair to put it on him like that because he didn't warn me about the whole thing. And it's more than that. For the first time, anyone here, including Astor, has acknowledged that I have the right to be freaked out about all this. I didn't realize how badly I needed that kiss until Petal gave it to me. So as Joey's wandering back, going back to the party, she oversees Pip, Astor's dad, and Noreen, the housekeeper that's quitting, arguing, saying, you need to honor your contract, girl. She's like, no, I want to go to the specialist. I'm sorry. You leave us no choice. Either you fulfill your contract or you let us down. And she's like, I'm sorry to let you down, but this is my son. We're quitting. I have to think about my son's knee. I have to move closer to that specialist. Haven't we been good to you, Noreen? Yes, you guys have. And Pip was like, I'm very disappointed because it seems like I cannot change your mind. And I very, very disappointed. He pulls out a machete meat cleaver. Joey's like, no. Tackles his ass like Ray Lewis back in the Baltimore Ravens kind of day from behind. Quarterback sack. She tells Noreen to run, get a head start. Pip pushes Joey off of him like, get off of me. Look what you did. I can't let her run away. So now he chases her after an exchange of dialogue. And Joey's like, what? Well, you know, it's not for Astor. Well, you know what kind of person I am. And I'm sick and tired of trying to be the girl that you guys will approve of. And he's like, approve of this machete. And he runs after her, partying on. And she's thinking to herself, well, he's definitely not going to kill me in public in front of all these people, will he? Yes, he will. And these people are getting pissed. Joey's bumping into them, dropping glasses, getting fancy and dirty, so it's not fancy. So she finds Astor and she calls out for Astor, and Astor turns around, gets on his knees, and proposes to Joey to marry him. Right in the cups of her dad, or her father-in-law, soon-to-be father-in-law, if she accepts the engagement, is about to just turn her into Benihana style filet. What are my thoughts on the book? You already know my thoughts. I got pretty excited reading this book. I thought it was great. This is a fun read. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. I'm looking forward to see how the next issue, how it concludes. I mean, to me, this is more like Get Out meets Cruel Intentions with a little bit of salt-based style of Hannibal Lecter. I dig this book. It's fun. If you wish to add this comic book to your comic book collection, link in description, by the way. We begin this issue exactly where we left off in Eat the Rich issue number 4, where Astor proposes to Joey, and Joey's like, what? You want to marry me? Astor's like, yeah. Joey's like, this can't be happening right now. Your dad was trying to kill me early with the machete. Astor's like, look, I'm sure everything's okay. You're bleeding. I'm sure there's some kind of misunderstanding. Let's just talk about it. What? Talk about it? No. So Joey's like, ugh. Like she's all up in the frantic, and then Kitty, Astor's mom, or possibly soon to be Joey's mother-in-law, is like, all right, Joey, you've had a terrible fright. You're shivering. You're beside yourself. But that's okay, man. Let's take it easy. There's no hurry. We could talk it all out later. There's no hurry. And she injects Joey with some kind of tranquilizer, whatever it is. I don't know what it is. But it gets Joey all drowsy, and she's like, whoops, I don't feel so good. Getting dizzy. I need to lay down for 1 second. Let me close my eyes. And Joey just trips out, clearly as displayed in this panel illustration right here. And Kitty's like, yeah, go on ahead, dear. Close your eyes. It's just fine. And then she gets blurred up, and she wakes up, and we see Astor starting to contort and come together, and Joey's paralyzed on the bed in Astor's room. Like, I can't move. What's going on? It's all right. Calm down, Joey. Kitty injected you, she drugged you, but babe, just chill. The effects are not permanent. What? Give me the antidote. I want to get out of here. There is no antidote. It'll wear off on its own until we finish talking. You're not going anywhere, Joey. Joey's like, the hell I'm not going. You can't keep me here. And she tries to twitch her fingers, and it barely twitches, so she's starting to get movement in her body, but it can't be soon enough. So Astor gives her the proposal. You can leave this room. Here are the options. You can leave this room as my fiance. We will get married in the fall. Don't worry. My mom will plan everything out. You'll finish your last year of law school while I start my internship at Dad's firm. Then you can come join me. I'll be on a fast track to a partner in no time. Or if you want, we can have kids. You can quit working, or we can have kids and you keep working. Whatever you want to do. That's option 1, to leave this room alive. And Astor tries to sweeten up the pot, saying, look, everyone loves you here, Joey. Everyone likes you. I love you. Even after all this, I really do love you. And Joey's like, wait, what do you mean after all this you'll do anything? What do you mean after all this you love me? What's the next option? And Astor's like, you ruined everything for me. So the next option is you can starve and you can leave, but you know what? You're freaked up. You're screwed if you leave, and you'll starve. And Joey's like, I'll figure it out. I'm leaving. I don't care if I have to go through what you do. I ain't doing it. And Astor's like, okay, let me knock some sense into you, homegirl. Soon to be fiance, soon to be wife, fiance, love of my life, whatever. That we do eat people. So Astor's like, okay, maybe you can get through me, but it's not really me you have to worry about, Joe. It's all of them. And we are everywhere in Crestfall Bluffs. We're everyone. All the people, all the staff. Are you really going to fight all of them? And it's just showing an illustration that they're everywhere. Everyone in this town eats people. The gardeners, everyone at the law firm, the tech, the cons. Everywhere you go, you're going to be dealing with one of us. So if you really leave here alive, Joey, you're just going to starve. And summer times when we handle our staff turnover to reconnect with the roots of old tradition. Because remember in the previous issues, they eat the staff in here as a way of keeping the traditions alive. I explain all that in issue 2, 3, and 4. You can check out the full review. I will upload a full review video of this. As Astor explains that we're everywhere. Contractors, logistics, I don't get into all of that. Look, Joey, you're not trapped here. The door isn't even locked. I told them I'd try to stop you, but you can go if you really want to. But before you decide to walk out that door, I want you to really think about what's waiting for you downstairs and out in that world. So think about it, Joey. You can leave here Miss Josephine Hanley as my fiance who wants nothing more, who can accomplish anything she sets out to do, who can make a difference in the world, because you know why? Because you're my wife. And then Joey's like, okay, well, what about the third option? Astor's like, there is no third option. Yeah, there is. The one where I tear everything apart, this soft singer mofo and this island, and starting with you. So she finally gets up the strength to muster and tackle him. So after she tackles Astor and gets on top of him, ready to drop haymakers on him, she realizes the effects of the drugs are still in her system and she's still weak. And she tries to run, but Astor trips her up from behind. She decks her face in the floor, blood gushes out, and Astor is pissed. Do you have to be so difficult? And then Petal from off the panel says, Astor, sorry, Joey, I didn't mean to interrupt. And even Astor's like, what the heck, Petal? She's holding the iron in her hand. What's the iron for, Petal? That's what it's for, to crack Astor upside the head. Joey's freaking out. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And Petal's like, what? Is he dead? Did I kill him? I don't know, maybe. Well, what are you doing here? And Petal's like, I don't know, but Joey's like, it doesn't matter. I'm just glad you're here. You couldn't have come at a better time. So Petal's like, I'm sorry it took so long. What we're gonna do, man, I mean, they outnumber us. We're hungry. We're starving. Even Petal admits as part of their contract that we have to eat the people that help every now and then, so we can't leave. And plus, Petal's like, I didn't know how there was another way to tell you that, hey, you know, I have to eat my coworkers because it's part of the contract. So they're looking at the situation. Astor's blood all over the floor. People are outside. I mean, how are they going to overtake this? How are they going to get out of this situation? And then Joey's like, well, maybe this is the answer. Well, because we're both hungry. Okay. Petal's like, what? My nasty hand? Maybe. So she sucks on her fingers seductively. Joey's like, oh my God, that is good. And she's like, it's them. They're the answer. We outnumber the rich. We can take them out if we work together. Us and all the staff, we can get off the island. But we have to eat. We don't have to eat each other though. We can eat them because they taste good. Nobody's as hungry as we are, but I bet we can get them to work up an appetite. So Astor's like, wait a minute, you gonna turn the tables on us? Wait, don't. What are you doing? We're making new tradition now, baby boy. So they get to work. We bite his throat off like a vampire. They share a kiss, a bloody, delicious kiss. And Joey's like, I went to Crestfall Bluffs this summer, expecting to meet my future family. In the end, I found more family than I ever could have expected. It turns out there's more to the world than I ever knew. There's more to me than I ever knew. So they just go on a rampage to just eat the rich instead. And gosh, that is the title of this book. How did we not see this coming? I didn't see this coming. I think the ending works in a weird way. I kind of dug it. I mean, I can see this playing out nicely on a Netflix show as a satire. Just this ending is bloody, it's funny, it's weird, it's well done, and it definitely does a callback to the book that it's pretty phenomenal if you ask me. But then again, I don't know, I just dug it, dude. If you wish to add this comic book to your comic book collection, link in description if you wish to do so. With that being said, Eat the Rich issue number 5. What you guys think of the comic book? Comment below, let me know. And also the series as well. And if you like the content we're throwing up, you know what to do. Don't be shy and don't be stingy. Here at Rated Comics, we do awesome comic book reviews, comic book related content with the occasional comic book giveaway. Thanks again for watching. Until next time.